to my YouTube channel. I miss y'all so much. Life has been going on, life has been crazy. Let's get into the drink talk. So today we have double XL guava. Honey, if you ain't had no double XL wine yet, oh, you tripping, Whew. That's liquor, no. So double XL wine is real, like, intense. It's not like a little 10%, 8%. It's definitely like the 16%. Like Earl Stevens. I think I did an episode with Earl Stevens wine, E40's wine. Just like that. It's called a wine, but it's really giving liquor with a whole lot of flavor. But it's good. I will say the guava flavor is really good. I've had several of the flavors. If you ain't had you none yet, go ahead and get you some. I will say it's definitely gonna have you feeling sexy. So just be ready for that. You know, it's gonna come. So today's topic is I quit my job and I found love in life. Life has been so crazy, especially within the last so I think 2023 and 2024 have honestly been crazy. Like, I could honestly probably get a whole movie about my life from 2023 and 2024. And I'm not gonna say it's been embarrassing. It's just been like very eye-opening, at least, because I went through my Supergirl era. I went through my heartbreak, my grief. I literally went through 1,000,001 different things in 2 years. Like, you would have never imagined it, but I did. Anyways, I'm gonna walk out through what has happened to me most recently. So January until September. Like when I say 1,000,000 things have happened, I quit my job. I got a new job. I got on a new board of directors and another board of directors. And then on top of that, what else did I do? I started therapy, launching a new business, brought back my old business. Like, when I say 1,000,001 things have happened, literally, if you have not kicked it with me in 2 years, bitch, you don't even know me. And that's a word for your ass. Bitch, if you ain't kicked it with me in 2 years, you do not fucking know. If you ain't kicked it with me in all of 2024, you do not know me. You don't know me at all. I done been through so much. Like, you could never sit there, fake the funk, act like you know me. You do not know me. And I do not know you. This is our whole catch-up session before we get into the whole wind-down episodes with the guests and all of that. Because I feel like too often we just talk about the good stuff that's happening in life, or we just skate over. But we only talk about the good things that happen in life, and then we skate over all the bad things that happen in life, and we just be, you know, like really relishing in our goodness, the great things that are happening, and not being fully transparent about our experiences. And so I feel like that also plays a role in like why people be real down and depressed, and we really struggle with instant gratification in this generation. Is because we don't see the like holisticness of people's experience. So I'm gonna get into the bad parts, the good parts, the in-between parts, because that's the real parts where everything actually be happening for real. Let's get into it. Now technically we start off with an icebreaker, but bitch, it's me. We don't need no icebreaker. There's no ice to be broken. I'm nice and comfortable. I'm in my humble abode. So let's get into my business. So, like I said, we really gonna just cover January until September because that's all that's happening. What's gonna happen in the next 3 months? I don't know. But I pray that God takes it easy on me because I feel like originally I was not subscribed to, you know, the Strongest Soldiers subscription. Then randomly I was thrown in there. You know, I feel like I was like an after hours, oh, wait a minute, like a afterthought. Now, God, we're gonna have lots of conversations for next year. Cause baby, these rounds of the Strongest Soldier about wrapped it up for me. January and February was very interesting for me. Crazy enough, your girl was going through like a lot of mental health issues, not issues, but like mental health road bumps. And so January, February was really the time period of my life. January is really the time period of my life where things started going left mentally and emotionally. Because like I told y'all in another video, my grandpa had passed, so I was grieving. And then I had also like lost somebody else in my life, and so many things were just happening at once. I felt like I was like finally at my breaking point. So what was happening was more things were happening in my life, but I didn't have nowhere to store that stuff because I literally carry everything with me. Quick note, I done heard bag lady a million times in the last 6 months, and I'm like, God, I know you talking to me, and I'm trying to listen, I promise. Anyways, that's literally what it gave. And so I just didn't have nowhere else to store the additional things that were happening. So I'm just like constantly in an overly emotional state. So I literally was crying. Like when I tell y'all, I feel like I had cried for 40 days or 40 nights. I wish I was being dramatic. I'm being so for real. And I got to a point where I finally told my mama about what was happening, and she was like, well, what are you crying about? I said, I don't know. And she was like, well, what do you mean you don't know? And how am I going to help you if I don't know? Like, if you don't know, I definitely don't know. So now what? And so her and my grandma was telling me basically like, here, you really should get into therapy. Now, I've never had anything against therapy, but my big thing was always, I want to go to therapy when I'm a little bit more okay. And I know that don't make sense, but to me it makes sense. And I was like, I just feel like I'm not in a place where I would be super receptive to someone being in my business. 1, 2, I'm not in a place where I feel like I'm ready to get rid of my baggage. So one of my main concerns, which I know sounds crazy, but one of my main concerns in going to therapy was like, I don't know who I am without all my baggage. So like, okay, I come here, I sit on this couch, I bring all 85 of my, oversized luggages in here, and then you want me to walk out and I don't get to have none of my luggage? Girl, what the hell? Like, I don't know who that bitch is. I don't know that girl that just walked out your office. I don't know her. I don't know how to navigate with her. I don't know how to hold conversations with her. I don't know how to date without her. I don't know how to, not without her, but I don't know how to date without my luggage. I don't know how to get ready every morning without my, I don't know, for real, don't know. So, I finally got to a point where I was like, you gotta be willing to take the risk. And that's what my therapist had told me when I finally went. She was just like, you don't know the girl that's on the other side, but is it not worth the risk given what you're going through? And I was like, girl, not you eating me up. You don't even know me. So anyways, January, lots of crying, lots of emotional breakdowns. I started having panic attacks again. So for those of you that don't know me on a deeper level, I have always had some sort of dealing with mental health roadblocks. So whether that is panic attacks, insomnia, depression, anxiety, and a number of other things as well. In January and February, my panic attacks came up again, and I had not had those since high school. So that's how I knew I was in a serious, something is going on, and my body is I'm literally not responding the way I have coached myself to respond for the last 10, 15 years. So things got hectic. Nevertheless, I got into therapy, and that was helpful. And it's been helpful. But I just knew in January and February, I was wearing my pain. I was no longer packing it away. It literally I was coming into rooms with it. I was going out in public with it. I'm shopping with it. I'm online with it. You can see it on me. And so one other thing too about that time period is that my big moment that made me realize I had to go to therapy was I was at work, and I had gotten into the habit of bawling my eyes out and then going to work, or going to work and then bawling my eyes out on the way home, or going to work, getting in my car after work. Literally, I would park in front of the building, get into my car, and scream at the top of my lungs. I'm sure the receptionist could probably hear me. I was hollering. I just got in the habit of doing all of those little things. And so one day we was on a staff meeting, and my previous job, what I will say is that it traumatized me in a way that I never expected a place of employment to be able to. So many things happened at that job that I'm not gonna speak on. Should probably pull up a lawsuit against them about, but we're just gonna, cause I don't even have the capacity, please. I just wanted to run, like escape. So anyways, like I was saying, I had went to a staff meeting, and two of my coworkers at the time were basically talking about their experience but in circles in a staff meeting, and basically asking, like pleading out for people to be kind, for people to be nice, for people to give each other grace. And I was going through so much personally, and so much in that workspace, I had started to like cry. And so I wasn't like crying right there in the meeting. I got up. I thought I was moving in slow motion. The girl next to me jumped back like I was gonna hit her. And I'm like, what? And so I'm rushing out to the door. And I'm like, okay, I must not be moving as quiet and as like slow as I thought I was. And then I hit the door and I just start bawling. I'm like, losing my mind, like losing it completely, lost it. And I'm rushing to go to my desk to get my car keys. And in order to get to my desk, I had to pass the other door of the meeting room we were in. But that other door is always closed. It's never open. Miraculously, on this day, it was open. So all of my coworkers heard me bawling my eyes out, sniffling, can't breathe in the hallway. Nevertheless, that was like my one moment of like, I looked out for my mom. She was like, you need to go to therapy now, period. I don't care what you say. You're going to call somebody. She was like, you can't be doing it. You can't be breaking down and doing all this like in the general public, like at work, in a staff meeting. Like you have to call somebody and talk to somebody. So long story short, I started therapy. And it's been a really cool journey, very different than what I'm used to. I have tried therapy before, it did not work out. I think even in the little time that I've been there, I've learned so much. And I just loved it for me. Anyways, March comes and my job started to become unbearable. So for the first time in my life, most of my supervisors have always been Black women, and I've never had an issue. But for the first time in my life, someone who was previously an equal was promoted to be my supervisor. Which, I mean, in my personal opinion, I'm like, girl, if I had to review your resume and edit it and edit your cover letter, I really don't think you qualify to be my supervisor, but life goes on. I think the main issue at hand was like jealousy. And so, just to give everybody like a full blush of like my professional experience, I'm very young. I'm very young to have been in the roles that I've been in and done the things that I've done. I've been in leadership roles, like leadership roles since I was 22. 22, I was hired as a director. Not even a full year after I had graduated. And so my coworkers have always been 2-3 decades older than me. So it's not common for me to come in and make friends and then we start going out and having drinks after work. And that's not my experience. My experience is that my coworkers have families, kids, and grandkids, my immediate coworkers. Nevertheless, what I realized to be true in this workspace was like jealousy was an issue. And so that is something that I'll probably do a completely separate video about, because we have to talk about what that dynamic looks like when there are older women and younger women in the same roles, and the younger person's being paid more, the younger person has more respect, the younger person is more attractive, the younger person just has more personality. We really have to start talking about what that dynamic looks like in the workplace, because it's actually crazy the way you get treated. Previously, it wasn't too much of an issue because I've always been in my own department doing my own thing, running shit. Versus this time around, someone that was already jealous of me had been promoted. And so when I say like I feel like she felt threatened about the level of respect that I got with my title in comparison to her, which is cool. You can feel threatened. At the end of the day, you get paid the check to be my supervisor. So to feel threatened when you get in the check at the end of the day is absolutely absurd in my opinion, but we move on. And one thing about me, you're not never gonna sit up and disrespect me and I'm just gonna, oh, okay, it is what it is. Oh, I'll just do whatever you tell me to do. Girl, fuck you. Disrespectfully. So I quit, I left. I don't need this job. And that's why you're mad. Clock that T. Let's clock it. Please, let's clock it. Anyways, I'm not about to go nowhere for 40 hours a week, spend all my daylight hours and actually hate the job. I'm not gonna go nowhere for 40 hours a week and you think you're gonna piss me off every hour of the 40. Oh, you're crazy. Girl, life is too beautiful and I'm way too fine to be sitting around doing what? Being pissed off. No. I'm gonna go where I'm respected and appreciated. And I think that answers a lot of questions too, because people always ask me like, Kira, why do you be leaving jobs? Like, what be going on? And you just be up and going, you don't be nervous. No, I don't be nervous. I have had a great life because of God, and I feel like he didn't bring me this far just to leave me wherever I'm at. So I have every ounce of faith necessary because he's brought me through literally everything. So if I quit a job today, another job will be on the way. Like, my blessings are not tied to my places of employment, and I wish other people thought that way as well. God gonna have your back no matter what. You don't need to be staying in terrible situations in honor of a check. The money gonna come. I ain't never pressed about no cash. It's gonna come one way or another. And I'm not never pressed about how it's gonna get there, when it's gonna get there. No, God gonna provide for me. And I'm not never concerned about stuff like that. That's why I be quitting. I don't play about me. Never played about me, won't play about me ever. So that's out the way. So in April, boom, 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 I finally decided to quit my job. So in March, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to quit. April, I actually like put my letter in, boom. So May, my last day was like the top of May. So since from like May to the top of September, I didn't have a job. So I literally was just out doing my own thing, trying to figure life out. And I feel like I needed that. And I had asked God, like literally like early spring, March or April, I was like, if I could just have my summer off, that's all I'm asking for. Like, just give me a break so I can breathe. Because for me to be working at a place where I come in and my body is in a state of anguish every day, it's crazy. For me to come in and my stomach is doing backflips, front flips, it's crazy. I got the shakes, can't eat. Can't sleep good. No, we gonna have to cut this job out. It ain't worth it. Ain't no check worth all of that. If that check finna come with some bullshit, you can keep it. It's gonna be plenty more checks to come. So since May, I had really just, I've grown a lot. Sat down, spent a lot of time on myself. In intimate settings and really just focused on like, how can I become better? How can I be a better person tomorrow than I am today? How can I finally let all this baggage go? Because again, I'm grieving, I'm like in distress, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm all of these things. And so I'm also conscious of the fact that I got 85 luggages that can't fit no more stuff in them. So it's like, how do I process this and move on? And so that's what I focused on for like 4 months. What's May, June, July, August? Yeah, for 4 months I focused on that. So I just allowed myself to grieve. I allowed myself to learn what grace is and what it looks like in real life. Excuse me. I got a whole bunch of new hobbies, revisited my old hobbies, was having fun. Literally, I became a plant mom. I was doing a lot of puzzles. I was painting. I was sewing. I was cooking. I was baking. Taking walks. A couple walks. Not too many walks. Y'all know I'm not really into that. But what else did I do? I don't know. I just got into a lot of things that I didn't have time to do before because of like my mental state and working at the same time. So I really did have a really good 4 months, like for real. Just really taking the time to focus on me and everything that I had going on. I obviously relaunched K Creations because you need some sort of income, obviously. But honestly, I didn't even do K Creations for long. Like I did it for like maybe a month. And then God had put something else on my heart. So I started working on that project, which is coming soon. You know, just a little something for the girlies, per usual. I did learn a lot of stuff in all the time that I spent by myself. So I will give y'all those like highlights because when I say I found love in life, I really did found love in life. It was like, because I was in such a dark place. I was getting nervous. Like, I just know me and the things that I've done previously and the things that I've been into previously. It's like, I hate to go there, but on top of hating to go there, I also know like I'm destined for greatness. So how do I get out of a tough situation where it's like, I feel like I've been torn down to nothing. I feel like humans in general have literally like just stripped me of everything. Like I'm just laying naked in the middle of the street. That's how I feel. Like I was just by myself. And so I think those 4 months is what I needed to like recover, rejuvenate, and just energize myself to be happy to be here again. Which I know sounds crazy, but it's like sometimes life just be so dark. Like you just don't know for real. You know, you just don't be knowing like if I cry on here, I'm gonna cut that out. I'm not gonna be crying on the internet because it never gave that. But life sometimes just be hard, and I feel like people don't. I think people know that, and I feel like since they can't get out of their hard spot, they make life hell for everybody else. They make life hell for anybody they can get their hands on. And I hate that. I hate that about humans because I'm like, damn, like, not only do you not know what I'm going through right now, but you don't even know what I've been going through. You don't even know my history. And so to just be, you know, to come in somebody's life and like just fuck with them. That is so crazy to me. Like, what? But we're not gonna get into that. So we are actually gonna talk about the lessons that I learned. And I hope like the lessons that I learned in these last several months, I hope it's stuff that y'all can take to. Like, I feel like the way like society is set up, humans are supposed to be having like interlinked like experiences. So like we shouldn't have to do these things alone, one, but in addition to not having to do them alone, we also don't all individually have to go through some bullshit. Like my homegirl should be able to go through some shit and I could take what she learned and move accordingly. Like I should have to then go through the bullshit too. And so that's why I'm like, I feel like if we start being more intentional about creating a sense of community, we could maybe save ourselves from a small percentage of the shit that we be going through. Now, obviously life ain't peaches and cream. So we always want to go through something, but at least I feel like if we can avoid it to some extent, like, can we try that? Like, anyway, so I got 5 life lessons. So the first one is that you're not alone. And I learned that I'm not alone. And so I've always had this like me versus the world perspective. I always felt like everybody was out to get me. I felt like nobody was genuinely interested in helping me, pouring into me, being kind to me. Like I just feel like that's not what people's intentions was with me. And so I've always had a me versus the world attitude. So I always save myself. I always figure stuff out by myself. I don't want your help. I don't need your help. You don't gotta come around. You can offer me help and I'm not gonna take it. Because I also feel like that's probably gonna come with some strings. I don't like strings. So I'll figure it out myself. But in these last 4 months, I realized like I'm really not alone. And it's changed my perspective of the way that I like view people and the way that I experience people. So many people have showed up for me in crazy ways where it's like, y'all didn't have no duty, no obligation, no responsibility to me, but still you showed up in a way that like completely blew my mind. And so to some people, it's like, you may feel like you didn't even do nothing. But to me, people checking in on me meant the world to me. Just like, hey, how are you doing? Hey sis, mental health check, what's going on? Hey, I saw your post. I just want to make sure you're good. Hey, what's going on with the search? Hey, what's going on with you? Like, let's go get lunch. Let's go get brunch. Let's go grab drinks. I miss you. I just want to check in on you. Are you healthy? Are you happy? Are you okay? Are you sane? Like, here's this connection. Here's this partnership. Here's this opportunity. Here's this job board. Here's this lead. Here's this group that I'm starting and I want you to be a part of it. Like, all of that stuff literally meant the world to me, and it came to me to the point where it was like I was by myself for real. Like I really feel like I just had nothing. It was just me, and I had to figure it out. And so for so many people to have reached out to me in the span of 4 months, just showing me that you was there for me and create like a sense of I feel like I had a community. I feel like I had everything you're supposed to have in this world to be okay no matter what. And shout out to y'all, like literally changed my whole perspective. Because I ain't had no job, and I knew I needed to get one, but I also was like scared and traumatized and like didn't know how to move forward from my situation. And I also knew that I needed these other opportunities to fill these other slots on my resume too. And I was like, I don't know how to move, what to do. And people, when I say y'all showed up for me tenfold, it's crazy. Like I still need to do a little thank you on LinkedIn about it, because y'all ain't never had to show up for me like that, and y'all did. And it just really like touched my heart, because I'm like, damn, people do give a fuck about me, and like not everybody want to help me because they want me to do something for them in the back end. You know what I'm saying? Like some people actually genuinely give a fuck and don't want nothing from me. They don't. It's not a I'll give you this, but you gotta give me this. And it's not you being kind to me because you want me to do something for you in the end. It's not you being kind to me because you hoping it's gonna pay off for you in the end. Like you're just genuinely being kind, no strings attached. You don't give a damn about what I give you back. Like, bro, y'all did yourself with that. But yeah, I just realized like I really do have a sense of community. I do have friendships. I do have a sisterhood. I do have like close friends, best friends, like people that's willing to sit there and listen to me talk about a situation 1,000,001 times. Not because they want to, but because they know that's what I need. Like, shout out to y'all. Shout out to my people. I love y'all. Like y'all did y'all big one. Y'all kept a girl sane. Y'all kept me on my feet. Y'all kept me grounded. Y'all kept me focused. So thank you. And then I also realized like I'm not alone in my grief, and I'm not alone in my pain. And I feel like I always gotta carry that by myself. Like it's just me. Don't nobody understand what I done been through. Don't nobody understand like my situation. But having people reach out to me and connect with me in the ways that they did made me realize like there's so many people in this world that love me, like love me for real. Like y'all want to make sure I'm good. Y'all want to check in on me. Y'all want to make sure that like Kira's breathing. How can I show up for her? I ain't heard from my girlfriend to pull up on her. I don't give a damn about what she got going on. I'm pulling up on her. Like I realize that like I'm genuinely loved, and it's not always about the people that you think. Like it's people that's at a distance that love me. And so thanks y'all, because I really did learn that like I'm not alone and the world isn't out to get me. Like I just gotta calm down and change my perspective. I can't let my pain alter the way in which I perceive other people without getting to know them. So that was Life Lesson number 1. Ooh. I feel like my eyes are glossy, this annoying, but whatever. And then No Rain, No Flowers. So I had finally gotten to a point where I was like, No Rain, No Flowers is like one of my favorite quotes. But I had gotten to a point where I was like, I don't give a damn about the flowers. I just wanted to stop raining. And so I was like, we be talking about like, oh, the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't care about the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to be in the tunnel. So if it means I don't get to see the light on the other side and I only get to have the sunset, then I'll take the sunset if it means I don't have to be in this tunnel. And so I had gotten there, and I had started getting kind of nervous for like what that meant for me. Cause I'm like, I'm so ambitious, I'm so motivated, I'm so dedicated. It's like, so what do it mean when I don't have no remote interest in the light, in the flowers, in the garden? And I had just gotten to a point where I was just like, I cannot like manage this. I cannot keep managing this. And sometimes I'll be nervous too, because I feel like I don't always get to enjoy the flowers. I don't always get to enjoy the sun, the sunlight, the light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like a lot of times the tunnel is like 40 days and 40 nights of complete hell. And then the light at the end of the tunnel only be like 10 seconds. And then I gotta get right back in another tunnel for 40 days and 40 nights for another 15 seconds of light at the end of the tunnel again. And so I then just started doing the math and I was like, yo, I don't think it's worth it. You feel me? I'm thinking, whatever's at the end of this motherfucking tunnel, I don't really want it for real. So let's get about the tunnel. Cause I'm like, I'm not seeing it. Like, and that was different for me because no rain, no flowers gets me through everything. But for me to be able to put around, I'm like, I don't give a damn about no flowers. I'm like, dog, we might have a problem on our hands. You know what I'm saying? So, that stressed me out. But I had went to church 2 times in this time span of me like going through it. And the second time I went, the pastor basically was saying like, every challenge has been uniquely designed for you to get to your blessing. And so then I had to rewire my brain to understand what the tunnel was. Because previously it's like, well, if we all gotta go through the tunnel to get this little bit of light, I don't give a damn about the light. But it's not just any light at the end of the tunnel, and you're not just in any tunnel, you're in your tunnel. So this tunnel, this challenge has been designed to get you to your ultimate self. And if my ultimate self is to be a millionaire by 35, then everything I do, everything I experience is to get me there. And so that's what that tunnel's for. The tunnel and the light is irrelevant. It's where I'm trying to go in the long run. And so I really had to sit and rewind my brain and be like, it's not that I don't want to go in the tunnel. Nobody wants to willfully go in the tunnel, but I want my desire for who I want to be in the end game to be so zoned in that this is just a vehicle. I'm just going through the motions. I'm just handling what I need to handle to get to where I want to go to. Like, stop seeing every tunnel as this big, crazy, how am I going to get past this? You're going to get past this because it's a part of your journey. And every journey has a challenge, and then there's a blessing, and it's specific to you. It's not that we all are doing this. It's like you're about to get some bogus blessing that we all got. You're about to go through this tunnel that's about to develop your character in a way in which you never imagined. These are not challenges that other people are going through. They're specific to me to get me to where I want to be. I don't want to be where everybody else is at. So my challenges ain't gonna be like everybody else's. And if I feel like I can't even get in the ring, I feel like I don't even want to be in a tunnel, then how could I possibly sit here and say I want to be this grand person in the end? I couldn't want to be that person because I'm not willing to do what it takes to get there. And then I had even started to add to it. And so I started saying, know that even when it's pouring and storming, it will not last forever because the garden is going to need sunlight to bloom. Like, and I had to remind myself forever and ever and ever, I am a garden, period. There's no garden that you can just flood out and it's going to be a garden. There is no garden that can only get sunlight. No, it has to have a balance between the two. And I have to be okay with that. Like, the person that I want to be is going to take me doing the things that ain't nobody else doing to be that person. This has all intentionally been placed in my path. So, no rain, no flowers, I got to keep holding close to my heart. And I feel like I lost sight of it, but the third one was Girl Get Up. So, it's so funny. This came to me like maybe a couple of weeks ago. But I was watching this video by Sarah Jakes Roberts. And she was just like, girl, get up. Get up. Like, that's the problem. And it just made me, like, be conscious of the fact that happiness is really not an emotion. It's not even an experience. It's a choice. You could choose to be happy at any given moment. Your life could be falling apart. And you could choose to, they had my donut. They had the French toast donut at 6 p.m. at Parlor Donuts. And that's why I will continue on until tomorrow. Like, you have to choose happiness. You have to choose to see the beauty and stuff. Otherwise, correct, there is none. Otherwise, you will forever chase a feeling and emotion because you're not doing the step number one, which is the choice. So, Girl Get Up just really made me remember, like, get off your ass and make it happen. Like, There's a million and one choices. Everything's hard. Which hard is you gonna take? The hard that's gonna take you somewhere, or the hard that's gonna leave you nowhere? The hard that's gonna keep you in the same cycle, in the same place that you've been for the last 2 years. So like, girl, get up, make the choice, make the decision. Do what needs to be done. Do the hard stuff so that when the opportunities come, because they may not be here right now. They may be coming in the future. But when the opportunities come, you need to be ready. How are you gonna be ready when you never made the choice? You never chose to get started. So that really spoke to me. And I was like, I have to remember that. Because I think a lot of times too, when I be sad, when I be in a dark space, it's like, I just be laying around, I be in the bed. Like, make the choices when to take you somewhere. And just be conscious of the fact of like, we be so sad and so like overly done up about happiness. Like, we want it to be something so specific, but it's none of that. It's literally just a choice. It's you choosing to see the glass half full. It's you choosing to see that, you know, there's beauty in everyday things. It doesn't have to be some miraculous, large, insane gesture, experience, moment, or feeling. Like, it's you choosing to see the beauty in everything. So another thing too about that was just realizing that like, it's not that the opportunities aren't coming to you. Like, they're just not there. They're not happening. You're not up off your ass to be in the face of the opportunities. So the opportunities very well could be there. But you laying in the bed, you're right, they're not there. The opportunities are not laying beside you in the bed. The fourth thing that I learned about was being impeccable with my word. So I really tried to work on my mouth. I talk nasty, foul. The things that come out of my mouth, like, and I feel like for so long, I have not allowed myself to feel. So when I speak, my emotions are not connected to the words that come out of my mouth. So like, to other people, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. But to me, it's like, it's words. You should like, so being impeccable with your words. So for anybody that's ever read the Four Agreements, quick plug, it's a good book. It took me like literally 8 years to read it. I've had it for a long time. I literally gifted it to like 5 people. Oh, I heard it's a great book, read it. Never actually read it myself. Finally took the time to sit down and read it. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. And I think at first glance, a lot of people assume it just means, you know, to be honest, to be a woman of your word, to be a man of your word. However, going beyond that first blush, being impeccable with your word is you not speaking evil over people's lives. Being impeccable with your word is choosing to be intentional and fill people with life. Being impeccable with your word is so much bigger than you being an honest person. It has everything to do with you spreading light and love into the world. And so that's something that I had to really think back on myself and say, is that something that I do actively every day? Is that something I do when I'm sad and mad? It's not. And so being impeccable with my word has taught me to really slow down and be intentional with the things that I let come out of my mouth. Because I be letting some crazy things come out of my mouth. And in hindsight, it's like, if you're gonna spill evil over people's lives, you gotta make sure you go back and like apologize. You gotta go back and undo the mess, unwreak the havoc, because that stuff comes back to you. Like, you don't get to just throw stuff out and move on. You don't get to do people bad and nothing bad happens to you. Like, everything comes back to you eventually. And so it's like, we all make mistakes and missteps, but just make sure you go back and do your due diligence, you know? And so I really like being more intentional with the things that I say. Even with my friends on the phone, like, I be trying not to let the most unhinged things come out of my mouth. Especially since I'm somebody that a lot of people look to for, like, what's it, like a boost of serotonin, like just my energy, my personality. So when I then cut it, and then I'm just like spewing hate, fire, like just crazy shit, it's like, And I can respect that because some of the stuff I say is like actually outrageous. But I'm calming down. I'm watching my mouth. And that's all that matters. So be impeccable with your word. Be intentional with the things that come out of your mouth. The last thing that I learned in this long, crazy journey was to just give myself grace and to give other people grace too. We're all trying our best and ain't none of us been here before. So we just doing what we know to do in that moment. We may not always have the best decision. We may not always have the best things to say. We may not always do the right thing, but giving people grace in the process, just like I need grace. And then looking back at my life holistically, not just these 6 months, but the last year, the last 2 years, the last 4 years, the last 8 years, I'm not the same person. I've shown up as a different person at every chapter of my life. And it's like, imagine me having to lose all of my friends, all of my family every time because they weren't offering me grace. I'm only here because the grace that's been given to me, starting with God. And then that grace that is outpoured from him through the bodies of my family members, my friends, my closest people. And so it's like, why is it that I get grace for the terrible things that I do? Because I've done some terrible things. I've said some crazy things. I've been foul. I've been a bad human being at times. We all are. But imagine me having nobody because of that. That's crazy. So me just really like taking an inside look of like, You wasn't given 10 out of 10. You wasn't given 10 out of 10. And there's some things that you can learn. And I just kind of wanted to like talk through some of those life lessons that I took away from this experience. Because a lot of people from the outside looking in, it's like, that girl quit her job for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and she just lived her best life. She was out brunch, lunch, dinner, shopping. And so I think from the outside, it looks one way. But I want y'all to also know on the inside, on my end of the things, it wasn't as glamorous as it may have appeared to be. It was like a deep, dark, ugly moment that I finally came out on the other end of. Things have really turned around for the better, especially in a moment in my life where I felt like I had like lost it all. And not because I had quit my job, but I felt like I had lost it all because I had lost myself at the job. I quit the job. And I feel like I was processing so many things at once that I wasn't able to make sense of my experiences and why I was here to begin with. And so I'm just honored and thankful to be at a place where I'm calm, where my nervous system has returned back to normal, because I had serious concerns that I was never going to be able to return to the person that I was before. Like, I was genuinely concerned that I would never be the same again. And by the grace of God, Homegirl is back. But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work. Lots of long nights, early mornings, lots of middle of the night breakdowns, lots of crying. But I think me learning to be more vulnerable, me learning to be more open and honest with myself has helped me approach things more intentionally, approach things with a heart. Beforehand, a lot of people could probably say, like, I met her whenever you met me. If you met me before 2023, you could be like, this bitch was hard body, oh my gosh. But if you met me in 2023 or 2024, you might be like, she's so like sweet and soft. Like, she has that like hard side, but that's not the only side that you see. And so I'm like happy to be wearing like my vulnerability, and I'm happy that I think in wearing my vulnerability, I've been able to be more honest with myself. And so that's why this was the perfect time for me to quit my job and find myself, because God was gonna help me find love in life again. Because he's like, now that we didn't learn how to take down some of these steel walls that you put in place, now we can start filling you up with the goodness. We can start filling you up with better perspectives and more. I have more availability, I feel like. So it was a process of me not only taking down the steel walls, but also me like throwing some of the luggage overboard so that I could be able to like better navigate situations. So I'm just happy to be here for real, y'all. Like, y'all, I feel like people just don't be knowing how dark stuff be getting for other people. And so then when we only see the good stuff, it make you think like, oh, I'm by myself. But you know, like, life is hard. Things are tough. And I wish they weren't. I do. I think we all wish like it was just an easier way to get there. But I'm just trusting that God is doing what I know He is more than capable of doing. And I'm trusting that He's gonna take care of me in my space that I'm in right now. So, yeah. I just feel like I've been going through a lot and I had to get that off my chest in order for me to show up in all of my wind down episodes as my truest self, my most vulnerable self, and my most honest self. I had to be like honest about what I've been up to. So thank y'all for always like being a part of this journey with me. Like, y'all don't always have to prop your phones up, open your laptops up, open your tablets up, turn your TVs on and watch me, but you do. Shout out to y'all. I'm just a young girl in Indianapolis trying to figure it out. And it's taking me a little long. I'm bumping my head. And while my mistakes may not look like other people's mistakes, they are indeed mistakes. They are indeed roadblocks. But I'm just happy to be here. Things could always be worse. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how y'all like the video. Let me know what y'all been up to this year. Has y'all 2024 been crazy? Did y'all accidentally get subscribed to the Strongest Soldier list? What's the tea? Girl, did you get a new man? What's new? Because I just gave y'all all my business, so y'all can at least tell me something. Tell me a secret. Hell. Thanks for kicking it with your girl. That's all I got for y'all now. See y'all later.